Yeah, great. Thanks. But before we jump into it, I did want to throw on a couple things. Even if this does not apply to you, you're retired, you're not working, you have a great job, all of that. Still, watch this because this is information that you could share with other veterans that you may know, come across, family members that are veterans or reservists. And here's the other piece. I'm a big fan of anything positive that's happening for veterans legislatively. Okay. Now, not because it's a good thing for veterans, obviously that's it. But I have another reason why. And my other reason why is you have to think about everything that we try to accomplish for veterans and the veteran sphere as a snowball rolling down a hill. And if you're not packing more snow on it, it stays this big, right? So you got to keep packing snow on it to create the momentum, the awareness. The bigger it is, the more that we can get done. We need to stay in the thoughts, the minds, and in the words of these legislators. And everything, whether it's a small win or a big win, is extremely important because the more that we do, the more that we will get. I'll tell you, the veteran population is a shrinking population. That's scary when it comes to legislation in the years to come. So
Right.
we have to act now and we have to be loud. So with that, that's my little 2 cents on why it's important to continue to watch, support, reach out to your congressional leaders and so forth to let them know that you support this type of stuff. The more voices, the better. You, your spouse, your children who are adults can call your representative. All right, let's jump into this thing, figure out what kind of nuggets we can uncover and how they can impact you or your loved ones. Let's jump into it. This was released, or says released on the 80th anniversary of D-Day. And here it's basically the subheadline is urges the DoD and VA to recognize the skills veterans gain while serving, support new legislation that ensures our veterans secure quality jobs after transition to civilian life. And I'll tell you, there has been many people who have transitioned from the military and took 2 or 3 steps backwards. And it's kind of, I think, in my mind, because employers aren't fully aware of the value that we bring to the table. I have worked with many employers, same with Chris and Randy, explaining the value that veterans bring to the table, and in fact, so much so that you should hire an NCO who got out of the military without a bachelor's degree in X over somebody who has a bachelor's degree but no experience. And here's why. Right. So that's kind of, some of the hidden things that we learn and the tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars that are spent on us. Let's jump into the article today, Thursday, June 6th, 2024. The Congressman Gottenheimer. I tried to just push that over to you, Randy, so you could say his name. But here we go. He joined the Fort Lee VFW to announce his new jobs plan for America's veterans. That's important to remember. If you support something like this, you need to reach out to your congressional member and let them know that you support the jobs plan for America's veterans. And this, which will help our nation's heroes secure quality jobs after they transition to civilian life. Now, I'm going to kick it around the table here real quick, just for any quick thoughts before we jump further. The one thing I'm going to just throw in here is, look, we all have different bandwidths and comfort levels. Okay. It's not a scary thing to reach out to your congressional member's office. You can call them and leave them a message after hours that you support the jobs plan for America's veterans. If you'd like, you can email them on their website. You can call them during business hours, speak with the staffer, let them know, they'll jot it down. If you want to be a little more, engaged, you can swing by the office, go in and tell them that you support this and you want to make sure that the congressional member knows. Or you can even call if you have a very passionate viewpoint. Call, set up an appointment with the congressional member when they're back in the district, and see if you can get 10 minutes of their time to talk about your passionate plea for this type of legislation. With that, I'm going to kick it over to you, Randy, and get your thoughts on just where we're at so far.
Yeah, so let's set aside politics here for a minute. Regardless of your political persuasion, Democrat, Republican, something else, set that aside. This is an elected representative that is stepping up and wants to do something to benefit the veteran community. So, Congressman Gottheimer has some draft legislation. So my understanding of the lay of the land is this is pre-committee. He has not completely gone through the whole legislative authoring process. So to Jason's point, reaching out to your elected representatives and saying, hey, I support the general concept here. They may be a Republican, they may be a Democrat. Everybody seems to be happy to jump in and call it bipartisan legislation when veterans are involved. Have them engage with Congressman Gottheimer. Have them tweak the legislation. It's not too early. So Jason's point is well taken. Raising your voice, getting it over to your elected representatives, and then having them get involved in the draft and kind of the melding of the clay for this kind of legislation is really important. And, veteran stuff really isn't as contentious as it could be compared to a lot of other subjects that we have in America. So let's get them to work together. Let's focus on some of our issues that we need to improve as a community. And a big part of this is employment. So that's my thought. And over to you, Chris, for your
Yeah,
thoughts.
wouldn't it be cool if like Heimer translates? I assume that Gottheimer is German, but like have hammer. Like, wouldn't that be awesome if that's since this is a jobs bill? But look, squeaky wheel gets the grease. We all know that. Hats off to Representative Gottheimer for pushing this forward. We're going to get through the meat of this. But one thing we see real clearly here, and this is a number we see quite a bit, nearly 200,000 service members transition out of the military every year. It seems to fluctuate between 200 and 250,000. And that's been a relatively consistent number, Jason and Randy, that I've seen since I've transitioned, with obvious spikes during, every now and then. Is this a number that just gets thrown out there, or is this is it higher? Is it lower? Is this an average over a period of time? Any knowledge on where this number comes from?
No,
my guess is that it's my guess here is that it's the processed DD 214s or NGB 22s at the county veteran service officer level. You actually receive a report with the last home of record based on the service members' information. So all that stuff is tracked. I've never seen it at the super high level 200,000 view, but I've seen it drilled down at the myopic level. So, Randy, your thoughts?
Yeah, DoD keeps statistics. Part of it may be coming from the Veteran Affairs side of things. So folks transitioning in, I don't know if it's an output or an input statistic. I think it is reasonably accurate. The number does fluctuate, like you mentioned, but it's a lot of people. And then there are a lot of people that are not necessarily trained for civilian work. Or maybe that's the wrong way to put it, prepared to make that transition.
Well, it would be interesting to see how many family members are attached to those 200,000 as well, right?
You could probably multiply the number by 3 or 4 easily. Yeah. It's a big community.
Yep.
Absolutely.